Hello YouTube, this is Skating for Satori, and today I'm going to share with you my 2021 middle-aged skate dad board setup with all of you. I thought that it would be a good time to post an update video since it's been a few years since the last board setup video, and since then people have inquired how I like the Anti-Hero 9-inch Eagle Orange deck. I have to preface this by stating, as I do in all my videos, that the opinions shared are that of a middle-aged skateboarder who started riding the skate park at the age of 42, and that the setup is for bull riding and carving, and at least for me, not set up for street, tech, games of skate, or vert. I've seen this board ridden in the aforementioned 3, but I have not tested it in that type of riding, so I can't share with you how it functions or rides, like for example, tray flipping this 9-inch board down a 10 stair. I came into skateboarding late in the game, and especially after 30 plus years of martial arts training, and along the way undergoing some pretty intense training in Japan and for Team USA. So I already had a lot of wear and tear on my body coming into skateboarding after appearances in 4 national championships and 3 world championships during the peak of my competitive kendo career. Over the years, people have sent me messages and commented that I'm a snowflake because they're 50-something and still do stairs and handrails. And all I gotta say is, like my Australian friend would say, good on you, mate, more power to you. Another thing that I want to preface before going into the review of the board is that this video and commentary are completely unpaid and unsolicited by Anti-Hero, Ace Trucks, or Bones. However, donations and flow are always welcome. Like they say, what is the greatest nation? Donation. But all kidding aside, these are my current riders, which are the Anti-Hero 9-inch Classic Eagle deck, also known as the Orange deck. The spec on these boards are 9 inches wide, 33.25 inches long. They have a 7.4-inch nose and a 7-inch tail and a 15-inch wheelbase. In my other videos, you'll see that I used to ride the 8.75 version of the Classic Eagle in 2019. But I moved up to the 9-inch when I saw Andrew Lange riding them, and he continues to ride them to this day. I got this about late 2019, and then I put it away, but I started riding it again in 2020 when the Andy Anderson Heron 9-inch flight deck was virtually impossible to find. And then when it did get restocked, they would sell out in a matter of minutes, and then you would see people trying to flip them on eBay for $300 to $400. So I figured that the popsicle-shaped Anti-Hero would be easier to find and replace, although in 2021, these guys are also getting harder to find. At present, I ride 2 of the same boards with nearly the same setup. The older one on the left is my older one, which was purchased 2 years ago, and the one on the right is the same model deck purchased in 2021. Both have been set up identically with the following parts. So they both have mob grip tape. Mounting hardware, I use Shake Junt 1-inch bolts. Both have a 1/8 inch riser, and the bearings are hand-me-downs from my son, so they're either Bones, Bronson, or Switch Skate Supply. The trucks are Ace 55 old versions, and they have Bones medium bushings on the bottom and a soft bushing on top. For more information on my truck setup, please watch the middle-aged skate dad Ace Truck hack video on this channel. So the difference between these 2 boards is the wheels. The newer one has Bones SPF 60mm wheels, and this setup always stays the same. The older one, I interchange the wheels to different ones depending on the skate park or skate terrain that we'll be riding. And the wheels that are switched out are 4 different sets. One of the sets that I use on this older board is the PAL Steve Caballero signature wheels, which I've ridden these for like 7 years. I got these as a gift on my 43rd birthday, and they were originally 60 millimeters, but now they're around 54. And I think this represents the thousands, if not tens of thousands of miles I've ridden inside the various skate parks. And then because I have a grind groove on the front truck of this board, one of the wheels started coning on the inside, which is this one here. So I took them off, and then now I use these wheels nowadays mostly when riding like school curbs or doing grinds or nose slides, that kind of thing. The second set of wheels that I actually have on the board right now is the Type S Hosoi wheels in 60 millimeter and 98A. So this is a narrow fast wheel that has a little softer and grippier formula. I like to use this wheel for flow bowls and for parks that are a little bit more on the slippery side, but I want to keep up the momentum but not necessarily seeking maximum speed. So they're on the board right now as I speak. This is one of my favorite wheels. The third set of wheels that I like to use on this board is the Spitfire Formula 4 Conicals in 56 millimeter and 99A. So same as the Hosoi wheels, it provides a little bit more contact patch and also gives me a mid-sized wheel as far as diameter is concerned, but as you can see here, it has a little bit wider and more contact patch than compared to the Hosoi wheel here. And the last set of Bones wheels that I like to use on this board is the Bones Clear in 60 millimeter Street Park formula, which is this wheel here. And for some reason, the SPF in the clear formula seems to be a little bit softer than the usual bone white SPF formula. So I've been riding these wheels on and off for the last 3 to 4 years on various boards and continue to do so on this board as well. I still ride both boards every week, and the only difference between the two are the wheels and wear on the trucks. The newer board on the right is strictly my skate park bowl and transition rider, and the older one has become the backup and more versatile rider for different wheel choice depending on what skate park we're going to be riding. Some people may ask, well, why did I buy two of the same board, or why do I have two boards? Well, my company did pretty well the last fiscal year and was able to pay out bonuses to its employees. So unlike most dads that go out and buy booze and golf clubs with their bonus money, I bought a new skateboard. My unbiased review of these boards after riding them for several years and also riding other boards along the way is that this particular model's shape, size, and dimensions work best for me for what and how I ride the skate park. So to share with you some of the pros of this 9-inch board, it is big and it's stable. It's 33.25 inches long and has a 15-inch wheelbase. So I'm 5'11", 175 pounds, have a 32-inch wheel inseam. So this board is sized just right for me. And the board is big enough for your feet to be firmly planted, or it has enough space for your feet to land. And for me, like Chandler's famous quote from the movie North Shore, this board is built for speed, not hot dogging. So it goes fast in a straight line, it allows me to pump and gain speed through the corners, and despite its size, it still turns and is maneuverable in the bowls. And then lastly, it's much more affordable and easier to find than the Powell Andy Anderson flight deck in 2021. If I were to share some cons of this 9-inch board, they would be as follows. So once again, it's the size of the board. So it's big and heavy with a longer wheelbase, so this board might not be for everyone. So to me, my board is the equivalent of riding a minivan at the skate park when everybody else is riding 8-inch boards with a 14-inch wheelbase. Also, due to the size of the board, you may need to incur additional costs to spec out the board. So, for example, the Ace 44s or Indy 139s, 144s, and 149s are not going to fit on this board correctly. You'll get that hoverboard effect. So you'll need to buy at least an Indy 159 or 169 or Ace 55 or 66 truck to fit this board. Also, if you have a street board with say like 52 or 54 millimeter wheels and put them on this board, the smaller wheels can work, but probably not ideal. I've always ridden this board with wheels somewhere between 56 millimeter to 60 millimeter. Because of the bigger board paired with wider trucks and larger wheels, there may also be an adjustment period necessary to get used to the board, and at first it may feel like it turns very slowly or doesn't turn well at all in the beginning. And another con that comes to my mind, but doesn't affect me personally, is that the board, because of its size, may be harder to flip, and also based off of its weight and also wheelbase. If I were to give you an overall review of this board, it would be yes, I would recommend it to another middle-aged skate dad. I particularly like the classic anti-hero fully rounded nose shape. Somehow it just gives me an extra sense of stability and confidence. As I've shared feedback with my friends who ride the same board, we all mutually agree that we all love this board and its shape, and it is likely the board that I will ride into the sunset. Quoting the description of this deck off SoCal Skate Shop's website, it says, "Fly like an eagle, just like Cardiel did on this iconic skateboard. Made with 1/8, that's anti-hero, quality 7-ply maple construction. The anti-hero Classic Eagle Deck Orange is a popsicle deck that measures 9 inches by 33.18 inches, ready to shred anywhere you like, park, street, pool, or vert. This popsicle shape is a great choice for any skill level." And I would have to agree with this description with the exception of flying like Cardiel. So I was checking out videos of John, as I'm not familiar with his riding, as I started skateboarding in 2013 versus 1992 when he won SOTY. So I think it's going to take more than just the orange board to be able to ride like him in those clips, but we can all strive to be as good one day. One last thing to share with all of you. Please keep in mind that this is just one review and opinion. I'm sure that through experimentation, you'll find a setup that provides you with what you're seeking out of your skateboard and provide you with the fun and freedom that skateboarding brings. So thank you very much for watching and allowing me to share my anti-hero Classic Eagle setup with you, and hope to be able to ride with you at the skate park.